Good morning team, welcome back to Deer Valley Homestead. My name's Andy, and if you've been following us for the last few weeks, you will know we have not been having a great time of it. We lost 15 of our soup group to a fox. Then we had a disastrous time with our pheasants. I'm still not quite sure what happened, but something got into their water, their food, or their bedding, and we lost I think 11 of those as well. And then just after last week's video came out, on Sunday morning, I came out here and Mr. Fox was in my other chickens, doing his worst to them. So, the not so fantastic Mr. Fox. Oh, we've caught ourselves a cockerel. What are you doing in there, buddy? That's not where you're supposed to be. I got up about 5 in the morning, and as I was going past the window I saw one of my chickens was out, so I knew something was up. I came out here and I managed to see the fox doing his worst to my poor chickens. So I was pretty lucky. I think I probably would have lost all of them if I hadn't caught him. In the end he got 7 of them. He got our favourite cockerel and 6 of the other laying ladies. So after I caught Mr. Fox, I saw him run out here, and basically what he was doing was coming in, catching a chicken, dragging it out into the field and hiding it in the long grass. Now, what's really interesting is that he didn't manage to dig in, he managed to dig out. So somehow he got over the top of this fence. And this is a 1.80 meter, 6-foot fence. And it's pretty solid. I mean, it's tight to the ground. It's all those kind of things. Somehow he got in. And the reason I say I think he dug out is that all of the mud that he dug was on the inside. I will point out that my rooster who died was pretty brave. So as I walked down the garden, I saw the fox and the rooster fighting. And I have to give it to the rooster. He was really going for it. Obviously he's fighting for his life, but I dare say he maybe saved a couple of the other hens in doing that. Here's the problem. What do I do about Mr. Fox? The way I see it, I've got about 4 options. First one, I could poison him. It's one way to get rid of a fox. However, that's just not my style. I don't like the idea that Mr. Fox is going to die in pain. Even though I don't like him, and he's not the fantastic Mr. Fox, that's just not a good way for any animal or anyone to die. So that one's out. Option number 2 is I could shoot him or have him shot. One of my neighbors has offered to come and do the deed, but again, I just don't know about that. I don't like Mr. Fox. I definitely don't want him around killing the rest of my chickens, which is what's going to happen if I don't find a way to stop him. But equally, he's a fox. He's doing what a fox is supposed to do. Find food, feed its babies, breed, and spread around. So, I don't know. I don't think he deserves to die just for doing what he was born to do. I suppose at the end of the day, he's doing the same thing as me. He's coming and taking some chicken to eat. Option number 3. We could get ourselves a dog. And this is the option I like the most. But unfortunately, it's just not possible at the moment. I don't know how long I'm not going to be working for. We don't know when Bea is going to be home, when she's going to be away. And so to get ourselves a dog just doesn't quite make sense until we know the answer to those questions. We don't want to be those people who get the dog, get rid of the dog. You know, sure, someone could look after it, but that's not really what getting a dog is about. So that's not an option for now. I do have a side option to that, and that is that Bea's mum has a nice big Alsatian type dog, and we might borrow him for a couple of nights and let him run around the garden all night long. And he can run around the garden, he can mark his new territory as he'll see it, and maybe Mr. Fox will see him here, and maybe that'll persuade him for a while at least not to come in the garden. However, the foxes are pretty smart. I think the fox will work out after a couple of weeks that the dog is no longer here. They are pretty clever animals. So the last option that I'm left with is to try and trap this guy, which is what I've been doing here. I've actually got two traps. There's this one that I made, and there's another one that's down in the old chicken house down there. That's a metal one. They're both the kind of traps, I think you call them have a heart trap or something. Basically it's a trap that will trap the fox without killing it. The idea is that we could drive him somewhere else to a forest far enough away that he won't make his way back, and he can live out his days over there, I can live out my days here, and we don't have to meet each other anymore. Of course, the issue with that is realistically another fox is going to move into the area at some point, so it's more of a temporary solution. So that's where we're at. We're trying to catch him. The main problem I have is that I'm just catching cats. I've caught my cats more times than I can remember. I've caught a couple of other cats, and the other thing I keep catching is hedgehogs. Anytime there's any meat or fish or anything left in the trap, Mr. Hedgehog wants to get in there as well. I will update you closer to the end of the week and see if we manage to catch any. But the tragedy is, of course, we just finished our beautiful new chicken house, and now we're down to 10 chickens. We should have had nearly 40 living here. Anytime I lose animals, I get pretty upset, and after losing those 3 groups, I was just so angry. So I did what I always do when I get angry. I went and cut some grass, and that just helps me to calm back down and think things through clearly. We'll have a very quick look at the garden while we're here, and then I have some other new arrivals to show you. Our corn is still flying, sunflowers are flying, tomatoes are going crazy. My guineas are spending quite a lot of time in here. They've been laying some eggs in between the zucchinis and doing pretty well with that. I still can't believe the size of these things. They're just huge. And actually, I think I can see, I don't know if you can see, but I can see. There's a zucchini down in there that is ready. That will be our first zucchini of the season. And yesterday I just weeded everything. This is some summer garlic, summer onions. They're not doing particularly well. And these tomatoes that went in the rain aren't doing very well either. But this part of the garden is doing well. That's where we're up to with all of that. But we have some more new arrivals, so I will show you those to end on a slightly happier note, let's say. And of course I'll update you if I manage to catch a fox. The ducks have been sitting on some eggs. I believe they have 4 eggs left. They did start with 12, but they are just not very good at keeping the eggs. Both of the mums are sitting on the same nest and they keep stealing each other's eggs. So they have 2 nests and they're moving the eggs between them. And of course that just means they're breaking a whole bunch of eggs. So, let's have a quick look. Okay, we're down to 4 eggs. And let's be honest, none of those eggs look very healthy at all, do they? They don't look good. Back to the new arrivals. We had 2 sets of rabbits born this week. They are, I don't know, 1 and 2 days old now. So Miss Diablo has a bunch of little babies in there. So I think she has 5 in there, but I'm not 100% sure. It's always hard to tell. I try not to stick my hands in there too much when they're fresh born. And the other rabbit who had some babies is Stiga. And Stiga, I have no idea how many babies she had. I only know that they're in there. Last time she had 9, I think. And the other new arrivals we have are down here. These are some guinea fowl that were hatched out by this mama hen. Hey guys. I see you've thrown your water over again. This lot are absolute specialists at throwing their water over, throwing their food over, and just making an absolute mess. And Mama Hen is very, very protective, which is a good thing, of course. But it does mean it's very difficult to get a shot of the guineas. Welcome back. I'm afraid since I filmed the first half of this video, the news hasn't got any better. We have more predator problems and we lost some more animals. I will show you what happened in a moment. But just unbelievable, having had very, very few problems for 2 years. This year we have a fox and we have a pine marten who's determined to ruin our lives. I haven't replaced any animals yet. We're gonna rebuild all of their shelters. Better, stronger, electrified, mesh underground. Anything we need to do, we will do before we get any new animals. Our geese are loving life. Ducks seem happy. Oh, there's a hot air balloon. And our zucchini are just flying. I'm going to pick some of those in a minute and we will show you that. But I've never seen zucchini this big before. I didn't know they could get that big. There's zucchini, sunflowers, corn, tomatoes, more zucchini. And everything else is doing really well. This is onions, they've started to grow well. And of course, all of the salad, lettuce, carrots, parsnips, everything is in here. And that's all doing very well as well. But I will show you where this attack happened. So we lost 3 of our 4 tenebros pheasants. The 2 ladies' bodies were still in here and 1 male was still in here, but when I came down, he had run away. So I suppose I should start at the beginning. I was here in the aviary to feed them at about 7 p.m. And by the time I came back at 9 p.m. when I was locking everyone else up, we were down to just 1 pheasant alive in here. I think it was a Kuna. I'll show you where he came in. He came in down over here. I've been trying to catch him, of course, but he's not come back since he was here. He managed to dig himself a hole through, put chicken wire all the way around, and that comes out about 50 centimeters into the enclosure as well. Anyway, this guy dug himself a hole straight through it. Anyway, we're fairly sure it was the pine marten. That just adds to the list of failures this year. Things that have been fine for 2 or 3 years suddenly are causing us massive problems. And again, like I said, we're just not going to replace anything until we have beefed up security. I know the obvious answer is to get a livestock guardian dog, but we have to be 100% sure that we're going to be able to look after that dog for the next 10 to 15 years. And we're not 100% sure of that yet. And until we are, we just won't do it. It's unfair to the puppy. And it would be unfair to me as well if I had to leave said puppy or give it away or anything. But so we've been trying to trap the fox and the pine marten, but we've not really had any luck. I keep catching cats and hedgehogs. This is one of the traps. So here we go. This is where he managed to get in. The crazy thing is that to get through the chicken wire, he's had to rip all of this apart, and I can see the bite marks and other things on it. So he's got through this, and then he's got through the chicken wire. Now, of course, the chicken wire was never going to be strong enough against a pine marten, but I didn't think he was going to get through both. Oh, look at those. They look ready. Garden from a different angle. Now, I generally call failure a learning experience, but too many failures isn't good either. Then it just becomes boring. Anyway, we will work on it, we will get better, we will get stronger, and we will keep making videos. I'm off to the other house today. I've got a barn to dig out, so I'm sure you'll see that in some video in the not too distant future. But for now, that's all. We hope you enjoyed the video, even though it wasn't maybe the happiest of videos, and we will catch you all next week.